Hollywood has always been built on stories. Some are written for the big screen. Others are performed in real life. Few are as unbelievable as this one. Imagine being offered an exclusive investment opportunity connected to one of the world's biggest entertainment companies. The contracts looked authentic. The paperwork seemed flawless. The profits arrived exactly as promised. Experienced investors believed they had discovered a secret opportunity unavailable to the public. Some invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. Others invested millions. Then one day, everything disappeared. More than $690 million was gone. The contracts were fake. The business never existed. And the man behind it wasn't a Hollywood producer. He was an actor whose greatest performance happened off-screen. His name was Zachary Horwitz, better known as Zach Avery. For years, he lived the life of a Hollywood success. Luxury homes, sports cars, private jets, celebrity parties. Everything about him suggested wealth. That image became the foundation of an extraordinary fraud. Long before the FBI arrived, Horwitz dreamed of becoming an actor. He appeared in several low-budget films, but success never came. Instead of becoming a Hollywood star, he decided to create the appearance of one. And in Hollywood, appearances can be more powerful than reality. By the mid-2010s, streaming services were transforming the film industry. Netflix was spending billions acquiring movies worldwide. Very few people understood how international licensing worked. Horwitz turned that confusion into an opportunity. He claimed he had exclusive relationships with film distributors that allowed him to purchase international distribution rights before Netflix bought them. Once Netflix completed the deals, investors would receive impressive returns. The story sounded believable. Netflix was real. Streaming was booming, and the business sounded complicated enough that few people questioned it. The most dangerous scams rarely begin with impossible promises. They begin with believable ones. Horwitz first approached friends, business associates, and people within his network. He didn't need hundreds of investors. He only needed a few people willing to trust him. Those first investors became the key to everything, because Horwitz understood a simple truth. People trust results more than promises. When early investors received the returns they expected, confidence spread quickly. Satisfied investors reinvested. They introduced friends, relatives, and business partners. The opportunity felt exclusive, private, almost secret, and exclusivity made it even more desirable. As new investors arrived, Horwitz carefully maintained the image of success. Luxury cars, expensive homes, high-profile events. Everything suggested his business was thriving. Few people asked the obvious question. If these deals were so profitable, why was he looking for outside investors? But that's how confident schemes succeed. When someone appears wealthy, people naturally assume they're trustworthy. Every successful payment strengthened that belief. Every luxury purchase became silent advertising, and every satisfied investor became another salesperson. Behind the scenes, however, the business wasn't making money. Because there was no business. There were no secret Netflix agreements, no exclusive licensing empire, no guaranteed contracts. The returns investors received came from newly deposited money. It was a classic Ponzi scheme. New investors paid old investors. As long as fresh money kept arriving, the illusion survived. But every Ponzi scheme depends on constant growth. The moment new money slows down, the entire system begins to collapse. For years, Zachary Horwitz convinced experienced investors they were funding blockbuster movie deals. In reality, they were funding his lifestyle, his reputation, and the biggest performance of his life. But no performance lasts forever. Eventually, a few simple questions would begin exposing one of Hollywood's largest investment frauds. By now, Horwitz looked untouchable. His company, 1MM Capital, appeared to be thriving. Investors weren't asking for proof anymore. They were asking how to invest more. Some committed millions. Others introduced wealthy friends, convinced they had found one of Hollywood's best-kept secrets. Every successful payout made the next investment easier. Because trust grows quietly, until nobody thinks to question it. Horwitz didn't promise impossible overnight riches. Instead, he offered steady returns that sounded realistic. According to him, investors were buying international film rights that Netflix and other streaming companies would later purchase for a profit. Whenever anyone asked for proof, he produced contracts, wire confirmations, business records. Everything appeared genuine. Some documents even carried the names of major entertainment companies. To investors, the paperwork looked convincing. But it was all part of the performance. The profits weren't coming from Netflix. They weren't coming from movie deals. They were coming from new investors. Old investors were simply being paid with fresh money. As long as new cash continued arriving, the scheme survived. By 2018, the operation had grown dramatically. Private lenders and investment funds joined. People who had never met Horwitz trusted him simply because someone else already had. That's one of the strongest forces behind financial fraud. Social proof. When enough intelligent people believe something, everyone else assumes it must be true. Meanwhile, Horwitz was living exactly like the successful producer he claimed to be. The appearance of success attracted even more investors. But behind the scenes, the pressure kept growing. Every month required more fake contracts, more interest payments, and more new investors. Then, in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic changed everything. Markets became uncertain. Many investors wanted their money back. Others requested larger withdrawals. For a legitimate business, that would have been difficult. For a Ponzi scheme, it was devastating. New investments slowed. Repayment requests increased. Soon, delays began. Horwitz blamed paperwork. He blamed distributors. He claimed Netflix was taking longer to process payments. There was always another excuse. At first, most investors accepted it. He had always paid before. Why would this time be different? But eventually, one investor stopped believing the excuses. They asked to verify the contracts. They contacted distributors. They sought confirmation from Netflix. The illusion began to crack. Experts examined the documents. Signatures didn't match. Formatting was inconsistent. Entertainment companies denied any knowledge of the supposed deals. One by one, the contracts fell apart. The exclusive Hollywood licensing business had never existed. The Netflix deals were fiction. The profits had been funded almost entirely by other investors. What looked like an extraordinary investment opportunity was actually one of the largest entertainment-related Ponzi schemes in American history. Now, the questions investors had begun asking would soon be asked by the FBI. Federal investigators followed the money. Bank records, wire transfers, emails, investment agreements. Every trail led to the same conclusion. Money wasn't coming from Netflix. It was moving from one investor to another. Investigators also found that many of the contracts used to attract investors had been forged. The business everyone believed in simply didn't exist. Instead of financing movie rights, investigators concluded that much of the investors' money had been diverted to Horwitz's personal use, rather than legitimate business deals. The success investors believed they were funding had never actually existed. In April 2021, the illusion finally ended. The FBI arrested Zachary Horwitz. Headlines around the world reported the collapse of the fake Netflix empire. According to prosecutors, Horwitz had raised approximately $690 million over several years. Some victims lost part of their savings. Others lost everything. Retirement accounts vanished. Businesses suffered enormous losses. Families who believed they were making safe investments suddenly faced financial ruin. For many, the greatest loss wasn't just money, it was time. Years spent rebuilding their lives. Facing overwhelming evidence, Horwitz pleaded guilty to wire fraud. In 2022, he was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. Even then, investigators continued recovering assets wherever possible. Some money was returned. Most of it was gone forever. That's the reality of nearly every Ponzi scheme. By the time it collapses, the money has already been spent. Looking back, the warning signs seem obvious. Exclusive opportunities, consistent returns, complicated business models few people understood, and a charismatic leader who always appeared successful. None of those signs alone prove fraud, but together, they can become a dangerous combination. History keeps repeating the same pattern. The industries change, the technology changes, the names change, human nature doesn't. People want certainty. They want opportunity. And they want to believe they found the investment everyone else missed. Fraudsters understand that better than anyone. The greatest weapon in Zachary Horwitz's scheme wasn't fake paperwork or forged contracts. It was trust. Once investors believed him, everything else became easy. This story isn't really about Hollywood or Netflix. It's about what happens when appearances become more valuable than the truth. For a while, Horwitz had everything he wanted: luxury, prestige, admiration, but every success was built on lies. And foundations built on lies never last. Eventually, the performance ends, the audience leaves, and reality takes over. One fake deal became hundreds. One lie became a $690 million fraud. The role Zachary Horwitz will always be remembered for was the one he played off screen. And like so many stories driven by greed, it didn't end with applause. It ended behind prison bars. Because in the end, greed never wins. Follow for more stories.